Strikin and Stompin, Part 2. So, we took a look at a couple of techniques last time and said, oh, one doesn't do enough and one does a lot, right? So you have to take a look at your techniques, and even when we get to the extensions, I know that as Kenpo people, other styles look at us and say, that's overkill, you guys do way too much, you do way too much. No, not really. Sometimes we do, sometimes that's true. But for the most part, go watch a UFC fight. Watch Muhammad Ali or Tyson fight. They don't hit the guy like 2 or 3 times and that's it. They keep going and going until the guy's down on the ground or knocked out, right? So, and how many times in a UFC fight does a guy get hit in the face with an elbow and he's still fine, right? So, when we take a look at some of our extensions, some of them still don't do enough, believe it or not. But you have to take a damage assessment of all the techniques that you do. So, if we were doing clutching feathers, all right, I'm going to do the extension. It's a short, simple one, and that should give you a clue, okay? I'm going to do a little bit sideways. So the guy's got my hair. Why is he grabbing my hair? He's grabbing it lefty because he wants to punch me righty. So I got a pin, yank him off his base, step back, pivot with my middle knuckle, peel this off, palm to the face, hammer to the nose, scoot in, and then out. So what did I do? Well, I pinned, nothing. I stepped back and yanked him off his base so he couldn't punch me. I did a middle knuckle to the pressure point right in the armpit. That makes him open up his hand. You might cause a lot of damage with that, but the chances are pretty slim, okay? You might, but let's not count it. So I hit to there, that opens his hand so I could peel it off. I get this little lock going on here. The palm to the face, if you think about it, it's really not all that much because I pulled him into it. This sets my range for that hammer fist coming down across the nose. This is your first really decent hit, okay? So I'm going to do this in slow motion. By the way, here's the timing for the extension. It's hit to the nose, this chambers, and then I shuffle in reverse because you got to get close enough to hit the guy. So I shuffle in reverse into a close kneel. I hammer to the groin, scoop to the groin, and then out I go, all right? So if you're trying to do the extension on this, that's the timing, is that hit to the nose and bring your hand around to here. So when it's on this part, when you're reorbiting and going back in, you're doing your orbital switch, that's when you shuffle back in. Any other time it just feels terrible. But really, what did I do to the guy? Damage assessment. Broke his nose maybe, hammered him in the groin, scooped his groin on the way out. Not really a lot when you think about it. Did it get you out of the hair grab? Yes, it did. So it did the important thing. It got you out of the grab, it got you away from the guy, and in good position, okay? But is the guy down and out for the rest of the fight? Probably not, okay? Maybe he is, I'm not gonna say no, but I wanna hit him some more, okay? So when I go in, I go, I wanna keep hitting this guy, all right? Now, let's take a look at a different technique where it's probably enough. Now, if we're looking at Dance of Death, all right, which is a favorite technique out there for everybody, if we're looking at Dance of Death, we can say, yeah, we might not need the whole technique. This is a good example of maybe an overkill on the technique. So I'm not teaching Dance of Death, I'm just going over it so you can see everything that's going on. So as the punch comes in, it's parry off to the side, get into your close kneel. Remember, hit up with the ridge hand. It shouldn't be out like this. Hit up with the ridge, knee lift, take the guy down. His leg comes up, back knuckle, finger whip to the groin or finger slice to the groin. The whip's better to do because it gives you better reach. Grab his ankle, snap his ankle. Small circles break things, right? So snap his ankle, come up, stomp on his back, crush the kidney, chop to the back of the neck. You got to go really far down if you're going to get that. Bring your foot up, stomp to the upper spine, step off, and you're stomping down to the base of the neck. I'm not going to go over it again. I'm not teaching the technique. Now this one, parry ridge to the groin, that gets him bent over. And that's why Dance of Death is hard. You're actually fighting against the guy, if you ever thought about it. He's falling this way, and you're trying to go, no, 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 go that way. So with Dance of Death, you're trying to go against him, but you take him down, he falls on the ground. Big deal. There might be collateral damage as far as his head bouncing off the ground a couple of times, but I didn't do it. I didn't smash his head against the ground, so I don't count it, okay? If I do it, I count it. If it's an accident, I can't count on it every time to happen. So I usually try to make it happen, by the way, but we'll get into that some other day. So you take the guy down. If his leg comes up, you hit his leg out of the way. That's nothing. Finger whip to the groin. That's just a stop trying to kick me or stop trying to pull your leg out. By the way, you know Encounter with Danger? How you do the backward break fall, and then you kick and pull your other foot in? If somebody ever does this to you, you're on the ground, Encounter with Danger would be a good idea right now if you're that guy, okay? But I flipped the guy over by breaking his ankle. Good hit, okay? So we've got a really good strike. And then I come up. This is a crane stance. Stomp on his lower spine, go to a crane, step off, clip the, you're clipping this little fatty tissue on the side over here. So you're clipping that. If he's getting back up, you can knock him back down with the sword, bring your crane back up, stomp to the upper spine, bring this up, step off, bring it high, boom, and stomp on the back of the neck. And so you're stomping on the guy's spine. You might not need the whole technique, right? You might not just need the beginning bits. So this is an example where as you stomp and step off this side, you might go, I'm good, and just keep crossing out from that crane stance. If you do the extension on Dance of Death, it's good to think of, to me, it's good to think of it as a bunch of crane stances, because then you'll pull your foot up high enough. I see so many people when they do Dance of Death, they're barely stepping over the guy and kicking. That's not going to do anything, right? If you want to finish the guy off, go to a crane, stomp, go to a crane, stomp, go to a crane, stomp, and then keep going through. So think of it as 3 cranes and 3 cranes going up that way, and then you'll do it okay. But that's a technique where we've done enough, and we may not even need the whole technique as we go through. So again, you have to take a damage assessment when you're doing extensions as well as the regular techniques and figure out, do I have to do more? Clutching feathers, you might want to stick around. You might not want to cross out. You might want to, as you shuffle in and buckle, if you know some other extensions, grab his head, throw some knees, flip him over and stomp on him, that type of stuff, right? If you know some other extensions, you might want to add those in there. And then some other techniques, you're like, nah, Dance of Death, that's enough. If I could get to the first stomp, I'm probably good, right? So take your assessment. And we're going to have one more part of striking and stomping, and it's just a little mental thought. So watch for part 3. Hey, don't forget, like this, subscribe, share it with all your friends. All right? Thank you for watching this video production from Kenpo University.